catch is that no one ever defined what transitory was. How long is a transitory period? Because obviously we were not going into hyperinflation. We were not going to spiral out of control. They would never allow something like that. My mouse stopped working. Let's switch to the desktop. Look at CPI numbers came out today. All right, CPI numbers came out and they came out spectacular. Below expectations on every facet. We have 3% headline, and if you know, headline is kind of irrelevant when it comes to what the Fed looks at. They look at the core inflation, which is why people were saying that inflation's a little bit more sticky than we expected, because while headline is 3 and went a lot higher than core inflation. Core inflation came in at 4.8. So this green line is the headline CPI. That came in all the way above at 9%, while core was sitting down here at like 6%, 7%. Don't remember exactly what the peak of core inflation was, but now headline is falling off a cliff. Headline is falling so aggressively, and core is lagging behind. Core is sticking a little bit harder. So the question is, how long will this be sticky for? Not when do we spiral into hyperinflation? And I want to go over the CPI report real quick, and then we're going to talk about trading, because I got my charts up here. We're going to do a little bit of trading if I can find the setups that I look for. If not, oh well. PDF. Let's look at the CPI report actually, and this is for the United States, obviously, if you guys are unaware. June 2023 CPI. Headline, again, came in at that 3%. Now, what I like doing is looking at the 1 month percent change in CPI. So this is how I've known that we've been in a downward trajectory the entire time. Because if you take the month over month CPI increase, so the inflation rate for month over month rather than year over year, and you extrapolate that out by 12 months, so you multiply this 0.2 by 12, you get 2.4% inflation. So currently speaking, right now, we are in a 2.4% inflationary period when you look at it month over month, not year over year. If 2.4 is below what the headline was, if the month over month annualized is below the headline, then we are decreasing the level of inflation. And it's been consistently like that for the better part of a year. It's been consistently lower, which tells me that it's going away. That's why I've had such confidence in saying what I'm saying. It is very interesting to me that we haven't had any kind of like spikes. You know, I know it moves really quickly, these numbers, but nothing usually moves in an exact straight line. Back here in '08, we had a spike here, and inflation started picking back up. Usually in the markets, nothing moves in a perfectly straight line. We have spikes and peaks and troughs, and I said '08, but I was dyslexic here. Back in the 80s, not back in '08. Back in '08, it was very much a straight line. But regardless, so all items, 3%. Core inflation is minus food and minus energy. So all items less food and energy came in at 4.8. That's because energy is falling off a cliff. So energy is really, really pulling down on the inflation numbers because energy is cyclic. Commodities are very cyclic, so during the winter, energy prices usually go up. We had an exaggerated move because of the war, and now things are apparently equalizing and starting to come back down aggressively. I think you experience this if you go to the pump. It's a lot cheaper now than it was this time last year, a lot cheaper. So food was 5.7. Not great. I don't really enjoy seeing food continue to go up, but that's a little bit expected given how sticky, or how, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? They keep screwing with stuff in the food chain. They keep burning down operations because of viruses. They keep, like, fertilizer price had gone up so much that it just makes, from the war again, that it makes sense for it to trickle down into food. It just takes a little bit longer because everything takes a really long time. Energy down 16.7% is kind of wild. Very, very wild. What's good, Crypto Dream? You're good. I just started. Thanks for being here with me. I'm going over CPI real quick, and then I'm going to look for any trades, but I got a very busy day today, so I'm not going to be staying live for super long. You look at, everything gas is just down. Everything energy is down, except for electricity. So that's intriguing. Electricity was up 5.4%, which is weird because that's usually the renewable stuff, you know? All items, less food and energy. Commodities, less food and energy. So anything standing out here is what I'm looking for. So we got negative 5.2 on used cars and trucks. That makes sense. Used cars and trucks were in an absolute bubble. I should know. Carvana, I gotta switch this back to my face so I can scream at you for a second. Carvana, back last year in August, bought out my lease on my Toyota, which I was slightly over the miles on for what I should have been. Okay? I was slightly over, and they bought out my lease and handed me a check for $9,000. Carvana paid me $9,000 to take ownership of my Toyota Camry. That was a lease. You get cucked if you own a lease. You are not supposed to make money. You're supposed to lose money. A lease is you paying borrowing money to pay the depreciation of an asset that historically always goes down, and they went up in value. Mind-blowing. So cars, trucks, used vehicles have been in a bubble for a while. This is not going to change anytime soon. They're going to continue to bleed for this foreseeable future. We got shelter rising. That I'm not a fan of that. That 7.8% for shelter is kind of shitty, but that's just because like housing prices, right? We saw housing prices everywhere go wild. So Redfin. I was going to do my market, but let's do the total market. U.S. housing price data. I know Redfin's not going to be perfect, but get over yourself. I'm just kidding, Dream. I know you're not the one saying that. So prices went pretty wild. Back in January of 2019, you could get stuff. The median home price was $272,000 for an asset that historically goes up 3 to 5% a year. For that to now be at $418,000 is pretty insane. We saw a pretty good pullback here, right? We're still technically speaking down 3.3% year over year on the median home price in the United States, which is that is an insane thing to say. And we're still up so much, but we were down to 382 from 432, so that's $50,000. So we were down over 10%, 12% there. That's good. But I mean, it's climbing back up, so maybe it's just a slight blip, a little bit of a pullback before it continues to run. I hope not. I hope we continue to level out and housing maybe doesn't crash, but sees an extended period of time where it just doesn't do that hot. But what I was trying to get at here is that this historic rise from a median home price of $300,000 all the way up to $432,000, that's going to trickle into the cost of living for rent and everything. And I think that's what's happening here. Transportation, yep. Yeah. These things are still pretty hot. There's no denying that. But I think trajectory is really, really good. And this chart speaks for itself, in my opinion. This chart really does speak for itself. We see things, inflation is just falling off a cliff. It was transitory. It was always going to be transitory. It was just, how long is transitory? How long of a period? We're on a trajectory to massive deflation as a society. So we have these spikes. How long are they going to last is the only question. All right. Thank you for being here. We're going to look at some trading items here. I want to go back to the Qs because, well, I don't want to be in crypto land here. We go to stocks. There we go, NASDAQ. The Qs, QQQ loved the inflation data. So the stock market got super, super hard on for inflation data. 1% up is really good. And the stock market just continues to roar. It's about to break, like people expected a pullback here. It's about to break through this again and start roaring back to life. You can see like right here, a lot of congestion happening in this area. And so a lot of people expected a pullback, especially given the fact that the Qs were up 46%. Nope. Looks like we're going to continue to rally. Mind-blowing. But Bitcoin on the daily to see if we can do any trades here. Again, remember what I'm looking for, and I think, so I got stopped out of the trade yesterday. That's because I was counter trading. I went against what the pattern told me. I was just trying to be slick so I could get a trade in for the live stream. I'm not going to do that. That's how I'm going to continue to lose money if I continue to try and just perform for the sake of performing. What I'm looking for is this middle VWAP, that rubber band that tells me if we're in an uptrend or a downtrend. I'm looking for us to stay above the VWAP all morning, bouncing off of it. Okay, so this looked like it could have been a good one. However, Bitcoin broke below. Why did I draw a square? I was explicitly trying to draw a circle. Bitcoin broke below here, right? So more than a 7-day period hit that. Hell yeah. Bitcoin didn't really like the inflation data. Bitcoin did not really like that, so it broke below. It is what it is there. That would have been a really good trade, a really good trend for me to spot. So let's see if there's anything else. Again, Ethereum looks identical to Bitcoin. It was a little bit choppy back here. It didn't have as clear direction in my opinion. So it wouldn't have been as perfect of a trade, but it looks like things might continue to go down. All right, let's keep scrolling, see if anything has that perfect setup. So this is close, just in the opposite direction. So Cardano looks like it could be decent, right? It's a clear pattern. Instead of bouncing off the blue, it's bouncing off that green line up here. You can see that clear as day many times. It's just going down. So the direction is kind of clear for Cardano. It's just going down. If we were up here, I might have more confidence that it was going to come back down, but we're not. Matic's not as beautiful. We had a change of direction for Solana. So Solana loved the inflation data. That's peculiar. Hit that thumbs up. You damn right, Dream. I think Dream, you're getting a private live show right now. How does that feel? XRP, direction's a little bit unclear. You can see right here at 7:30, so an hour before the CPI data, we kind of had a change in direction. We were above, and then we changed and went below. This is why I like using these bands, okay? Because this tells me, it allows you to easily see when things are grossly oversold or overbought. So right here, XRP went more than 2 standard deviations away from the mean. We could actually probably include more. Yeah, let's do the third band. So XRP went more than 3 standard deviations away from the mean. Anytime you see something like that, I think it's very, very, unless there was some historically tragic news that came out in that exact moment, it's more likely than not that it's going to rebound off of that, because like, how often do things reside more than 3 standard deviations away from the mean? If you know statistics, you understand that they just don't. Anytime you go more outside of that, it's almost a surefire shot that you're going to come back in. But it's too complicated to look at, so I don't usually have the third one on. I just like the 2. But XRP, not really clear direction. Same exact thing with Aptos. Aptos is, nope. BNB, kind of. Not really. BNB looks, see, look at BNB is outside of it. BNB might be a good long here. It's not my pattern though, so I don't want to venture out because I want to really show building a portfolio of trading. Yeah, BNB would probably be a good long here. So I'm not going to take the trade because I don't want to do that. I want to stick true to my plan, but we are going to pretend that I took a trade here and I will keep it updated. So ding 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 ding, just went long. My stop loss is down here, breaking below, but I want to do a little bit longer just in case there's a liquidity grab. My take profit would be a reversion back to the middle VWAP. So I am risking 0.34% to potentially make 0.7%. That's pretty good. I'm risking 1 to make 2. I'm going to pretend that we're on a 10x leverage, and we'll see how that trade goes. I'm not actually entering it. It's just for funsies because I'm an addict. Yeah, okay, this is Aave is still in an uptrend. Aave honestly still looks like, and it just hit that. It just hit that. I might pay attention to this, but if I had more time today, I would pay attention to this, but I don't have any more time today. What's good, David? How's Aave looking? Perfect. We're perfectly getting right there. I'm learning how to talk to crowd, even a crowd of one talking. See, Dream, notice how I have not changed anything of how I would normally do this live stream, despite that it's me talking to you. And now David's here. Shout out, David. Notice how I did not change anything of how I was doing it. Even if no one was in here, I would still be rambling like that. I got a lot of experience doing that when I started going live back last October. I would go live and like half the time nobody would be in here. So now that I'm on another new platform, I'm totally accustomed to it already. So the Aave trade from yesterday, we saw this clear uptrend, right? The middle VWAP. We bounced off it once, twice. I was looking for it to bounce off a third time, and I entered into a short position, intending to short down to the VWAP because I thought it would be extremely beneficial for me. Like I thought I could look slick on the live stream for you guys, and I got shorted out, or I got stopped out on it, which is fine. It happens. It's good, like punishment. I am glad that the market did that rather than rewarding me for my foolish decisions here. Aave is still in that clear uptrend. Aave is doing it again today. So we got 1, 2, arguably 3 times we bounced off here, 4 times. We just bounced off again. It was a little bit of a liquidity grab looking thing. It didn't look like it had a lot of power to get down there. It was like forced to get down there by the market makers. I'm sure if we were to go check signals, there's probably a bunch of unfinished auctions right down here, which would just show that like that was a liquidity grab to get down there. But it's showing a lot of strength. The RSI is rapidly going back up. The price is not. So it's showing a good amount of strength still. Probably would be a decent long to take. Again, I just don't have the time today to do it. And for 1%, 1.2%. Versus, again, I would, where it's been holding the middle VWAP pretty aggressively, I would probably set my stop loss right below it. So 1.2% loss potentially, or I could gain 1.2%. So it's risking 1 to make 1. I got a short in at the moment. David, nice. I have not checked out the longer term frame here. So we're up on the 15 minute. We're up pretty high. Let's go out to the daily and try and see if we can catch a trend here on Aave. Yeah, so this weird that there's not a lot of data here on it, but that's okay. We won't discuss that too much. This is Aave on the daily. So it looks like it's forming some sort of a flag here. Maybe we continue down. Maybe a short is the longer term, like a swing trade good position, and for it to come like this and then liquidity grab and break out. That's kind of what I would expect it to do. Not totally sure. Shorting for a swing trade is probably not the worst idea here. Just make sure you got your stop loss in place, David. Just make sure you got your stop loss in place. Because, I mean, historically, look at this. Like 1, 2, 3, maybe a 4th time. Hopefully you have your leverage under control. What trading platform are you using, if you don't mind me asking, David? I've been doing this, so this is what I got to get working on today. Corium. I'm doing a classroom in the Crypto Night Discord on Corium, so I got to get all of my presentation slides ready so that I don't look foolish when I'm talking about it. MEXC, nice. Love to see it, David. Love to see it. Are you liking MEXC? A lot of people, I think, are moving to MEXC, especially after KuCoin KYC became mandated in the United States. I've been using BitGet, but that's because I know someone there, and it like doesn't work totally on my phone, on my desktop, but it works on my phone nicely. Yeah, so Aave looks like it could be good for a short here if you were doing a swing trade. I was looking explicitly for a day trade. BNB looks like it's a beautiful long right here. I think BNB at these prices are a little bit silly, but it's because I keep forgetting I'm on BitGet futures, so they don't have the complete history here. BNB down here is a little bit silly. but it's because of that lawsuit. That is awesome. Hell yeah. Really easy. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I have a referral link if you want to sign up for BitGet. Just saying. Shoot me a message. I'll send it over to you. Doing Crypto Night. Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, really awesome. I've done several reports for Crypto Night at this point. You can actually go check out a chunk of them. Admittedly, 2 of them I have not done, but that investor.com/blog. It's my website. So I've a couple reports that I've put up here. There's 2 more that I've done that aren't up here. It's my bad. I got no excuses. I just didn't write them out. But these are reports. I do presentations as well. I think there's a lot of value here. Josh trades pretty regularly, and then we got Aaron in there doing reports as well. Got a lot of shit moving. I'm just doing Corium. Did you know that this new generation of blockchains that Corium is claiming to be the first ever enterprise, what does it stand for? Enterprise graded blockchain, a new standard introduced by Corium. So they made up this new standard. And that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about metrics to show if they're worth how much they're trading at, and if I think it's worth putting in my portfolio. Bag holder to homeowner. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. Enjoy your Wednesdays. It's Wasted Wednesday. Go do something productive. I got my coffee right here. We're going to have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.